Hey Ping friends, today I just want to show you how I use my plant tracking app to track my plants. So let's take a look. I'm inside my laundry room where I have some extra space where I have a shelf just for like my propagations. I brought them inside because my garage was a little bit too cool, a little too cold for the leaves. I noticed that they started to wither a little bit too quick. So I wanted to have them inside where it was a little bit more controlled and not so cold. Inside my house, it's about like 60 degrees and they actually do fairly well. I have these stand lights that I picked up on Amazon just to give them a little extra lights while they're propagating. Let me just turn it off. It's bad for the video. So I have several propagations going on right now. Let me just look at this one right here. So these are seed starting trays that I picked up also from Amazon. I do like it just because I can have one set of propagations for each of the trays. Put a little dome on top. I do spritz like a little water in there just to keep it a little bit, some moisture in there. But I usually just kind of like set it and forget it. So what I have here is, I have the name of the ping. So this is an Ampas C. I know I picked this up when I was in Portland. And then I also have another tag here with the actual ID. That's what I'm going to use for my plant tracking app for the propagation section of it. So I know that this is 1122. And what I'll do is I could actually take a picture of these leaves, and then I can take a picture when, whenever I feel like it, maybe when I start seeing little plantlets coming out, and then I can take a picture when I transplant it into those 5x5 mini trays. So I can actually just see the life of the plant growth over time, which I think is actually pretty cool. So that's another feature of my plant tracking app. I have two sides to my shelf that I am using to track my plants here. On the right hand side, actually the top two shelves on the right hand side are my parent pings, and then the rest of the shelves right here on like the left and the bottoms are all of my propagations. You can definitely see that there's a lot of tags on here, and that's the process of what I'm going to be walking you through. How I use my plant tracking app. So right up here are every single one of my parent pings right here. Each one of them has a tag of their own. And you're probably wondering, well, how are you actually tracking this? So let me just take this one for example. This is a Gigantea Lauriana. On the back of each of the tags, I have an identification, so I have an ID. So 1093, and this corresponds to my app in the parent portion of the tracking. This one is 1090. This is how I can also tell. I can take a picture of each of these parents over time if I'd like. It's an option that you can have in the plant tracking app. And that's the same that it goes for every single one of these pings. You can also notice that some of the more recent ones, I just decided, because I didn't want to start looking in the back of it, I just take another tag and I just labeled it in the front. So it's actually easier for me to see. You'll see that actually in all of my propagation 5x5 trays that I have a separate tag that I just put an ID on it. And that's where I'm just going to walk you over here to the left. So you can tell I have, actually let me just step back 1 second. I have 3 full trays. So if we take a look, we have 4 trays on the top, and every tray contains 8 5x5 mini trays. Each tray, I do hope that it contains 1 species of pings. If there's a lot more pings of the same ping, then I'll just basically have multiple trays of it. So like for example, right here, 1007 and 1008, that are my Florians. So they're growing right here. So I have multiple trays of the same species. And this corresponds, this 1007, because I know it's the propagation, it'll be on the propagation section of my plant tracking app. So I can also take a picture of this if I'd like. So it'll just be a picture of this one. So 1007 will correspond to this, and I can track it over time if I take multiple pictures. I can track the growth visually if I'd like. I can do the same over here. I can do the same for every single one of these trays. So like for example, right back here, this Rotundiflora gracilis, it did not have flowers. So if I was actually to take a picture maybe like a couple weeks ago, and then I took a picture today, then I would actually see that, oh, about, I did have flowers at a certain point. So like, for example, if I was to take a picture of this Ellersea Victoria, I can see that there are little buds coming up for new flower buds. So I can actually track that over time. It won't say it specifically in my plant tracking app that, hey, there are flowers on there. I kind of have to like make notes. Or I don't know, maybe that's another feature that I might add. But currently right now, that's something that I'm not tracking. I just want to track the overall growth, the species, how many pings I have in each of these trays. So that is what I'm tracking towards. And then for these specific ones right here, they have like a little like sticker on there, like a little polka dot stickers. It's very arbitrary. These are the ones that I've pollinated myself. So these so like a new one may exist on my pollination tab. And if they are successful, that's another way that I would track it. So like for example, right here, I have a Ampassi Zetcheri. I just pollinated with this new setup right here. So this will actually be on my pollination tab of my plant tracking app. For example, right back here, I have a Leilani and Agnata gypsicola. I try to pollinate this flower right there. I don't think it's taken. So that's how I would track my pollinations. On my workstation, I have two tables here, just one over there to my left, and this is my primary workstation. I just have extra plant tags, and I just use like a Sharpie to write the next ID that's in the plant tracking app. And that's how I know what's next up. It's a very arbitrary like system. I don't know currently of like a better way to do it. It's just an extra tag on the plant. Well, that's a quick overview of how I use my plant tracking app for my pings. If you are interested in trying it out, hey, shoot me a private message. I'm more than happy to kind of share it. I'm kind of like keeping it like a little soft launch right now. I don't want to have like a whole bunch of users and then like my app crashes, or I just don't know how to deal with that right now. So I'm just kind of keeping it small. But if you're interested, hey, hit me up. Also, you kind of seen maybe in my YouTube shorts or my Instagram posts, I've been kind of leaking some screenshots of the app, and I hope you like it. I mean, I'm using it for how I want to grow like my pings and the information that I want to use to grow my small business. And if you're also in the same boat, hey, come check it out. And you know what? You don't need to use every single feature. I've kind of made it very flexible. You can even hide some of like the sections. So like if you're not interested in pollination, you're not interested in hybrids, you can actually hide those menu options on my app and just ignore them. If you only want to use it just to track like, hey, these are all like the entire list of my plants. Like I have a master taxonomy list page, you can just use that. If you want to just track just all of your parent plants, like just the plants that you own, you're not into propagating, you can just use that too. I made it pretty flexible, and hey, let's just see what happens. So I appreciate it. If you like this, hey, give me a sub, give me a like. I want to see how I can grow this channel and just share with you my plant journey growing pings. Thank you.